And as always, before we start, with nature's blessing, you have to start this domain-specific session number 2 today. And as always, my name is Desika Prabhakar, and I'm the founder and director of the Purpose Foundation. Happy to see you guys here. Okay, so Lakshmi, please take over and introduce both of our guests of honor of today.
Okay. So good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for an enlightening technical session on artificial intelligence. So we have two remarkable speakers who will be sharing their deep expertise and forward-thinking perspectives on this transformative technology. So first, let me introduce Mr. Hitesh, an innovator with nearly 2 decades of experience in advanced technology to solve critical pain points, and he also built 2 successful startups creating innovative products and services in the sector, such as medical devices, healthcare, consumer electronics, and many more. So currently he is at Iksha Labs, where he's driving adoption of next generation technologies like AI, VR, and AR to transform industries. And his unique strength lies in uncovering insights and challenging conventional approaches to technology to solve complex problems and create human-centric solutions. So his envisions a future where AI tech agents will redefine business operations and engagements on a global scale. So we're very eager to hear from him to know how AI is going to reshape our world. So next with us is Mr. Giridharan Palanisamy. So he's a visionary entrepreneur and the CEO of zauto.ai, a company that's leading a charge in humanizing systems with AI for enterprises. And his career is impressive. He has been working with multiple industries like telecommunication, education, and entrepreneurship, and many more. He also worked with leading telecom giant companies such as Altiostar, Nokia, and Rakuten, and many more, where he have gained unparalleled experience. And his expertise goes beyond the technology, where he's renowned for his exceptional leadership, strategic planning, and also his ability to foster collaborations among diverse teams. So today, both of them are with us, where they'll be sharing their insights and expertise and offering us the glimpse of AI, which will be a transformative potential for all of us to know more about it. And I'm very super excited that this session will definitely inspire and challenge us to think beyond and differently about all the possibilities that are lying ahead. So thank you, guys, and once again welcoming you all for this evening.
Thank you so much, Lakshmi. So can we have our sweetest guest all the way from Haryana? You can take over, Mr. Hitesh. 2 decades of experience in AI. Just so happy that you're here with us. Super grateful for joining us on such short notice. Please take it away.
Thank you so much for inviting me to this. I'm very happy to help in whatever way I can. Before we kickstart, just a brief introduction about myself. My name is Hitesh, and I run a very interesting startup based out of Gurgaon. We work on an array of concepts, but our heart and soul is always in MedTech, because we've done a lot of work in MedTech, and we've partnered with different surgeons, hospitals. One of the biggest medical device companies is right now building a very interesting concept with us as we speak. And we've also done a lot of work in AI in general, and also specifically in MedTech. So, Desika, if you want to help me with the audience, I can
yes, sure. So these are all of the students in our first batch of hackathon. They have come to the top 100, and their ideas are focused specifically on MedTech, AI, and AR/VR sort of domains. So since they have been selected, now they're getting the next level of training to convert their idea into a product or a prototype stage. So they are in a sort of a pre-incubation stage, they call it. And they're all super talented, and especially from tier 2, 3, and 4, all over India. So from the north, south, we have diverse range of students who are super passionate, and they are waiting to listen to you from the industrial trends or whatever is the need in the market right now, what kind of tools are available, just a brief about the field right now, our perspective. Sure. Once that's done, we'll go for a one-on-one interaction with them. They'll give you their ideas, and you can share some insights later.
Sure.
So you can take about 10 minutes for the talk. Yeah.
Awesome. So why don't we there are a lot of opportunities as we speak for AI within healthcare and medtech specifically, but I'll just focus on 3 major ones which I've seen on and off, and especially from experience with working with a lot of medtech players and in the industry in general. One of the biggest one, and the first one that comes to my mind, and this we have seen day in and day out, is about like personalized care. Like, we've been talking about personalized care over so many years now, and people think of it very differently. But what has happened with AI now is that we've been able to think of personalized care in ways which was not possible earlier, right? So personalized care, when we started like 10 years ago working on a concept, meant that you would have like different templates for different patients, different like line of treatment and things like that. But now it is so much bigger than before, because now we are able to like identify insights and trends and then personalize, in its true sense. So I would say one area where there's a lot of scope going forward would be customizing line of treatments, personalizing. So for example, just to give you a very quick example, we are working with one of the biggest top 5 medical device companies in the world right now, and one of their biggest bets right now is on creating patient specific instrumentation and implants. And there was a lot of data needed for that. There was a lot of insight needed for that, which was not possible probably in the conventional or traditional way of doing things. But now all of these things are opening up suddenly, and we are realizing that AI is only helping us leapfrog it much faster. So the number one for me would be personalized care with AI. The second, which we've seen again it's a huge potential, is the go-to time it takes for a medical device to basically commercialize it, because we have to go through regulatory, right? So it is something which will be indirectly or directly used on a patient. So it poses its own challenges in terms of not only just the development of the device. And when I say medical device, it's not limited to a hardware or like a tangible device. It can also mean software. So in many countries right now, and I'm sure India is also picking up in the regulatory sense of things, but in many countries, medical device also means this software only product that companies are willing to promote, sell, or create. So there is a lot of data usually which is required by companies in order to kind of prove that the claims that they are making around a product, which is typically what they submit to a regulator, is correct. And they have to do a lot of work in the verification and validation, as we call it, after creating the product. So let's say you are creating a small thermometer, right? Just for the sake of an example. So it's not just the ideation around it. It's not just the concept and the product development around it. You have to really do a lot of documentation and a lot of work around making sure that all the claims that you're putting around that thermometer, they actually are correct, and this does not have any risk to the patient. So what AI is doing specifically for the regulatory field is something which is very interesting. So it's helping us not only kind of create insights, but also create synthetic data, which is a lot of times needed in testing. So what we've also done in one of the projects is basically create a lot of synthetic data, which helps us in testing and make sure that the product is actually behaving the way it should behave. And then not only that, we can also use AI in terms of supporting this, and we can go to a regulatory authority. And some of the biggest regulatory authorities like the FDA and the US, they're also thinking of using synthetic data to like shorten the time it takes to basically get give an approval for a medical device. So a lot of upcoming trends I definitely foresee in creating and using synthetic data. Just to give you one more example in this field, because this is very, very interesting, is we were, recently approached by a neurosurgeon. He's one of the biggest neurosurgeons in the country, and he wanted to automatically detect tumors from MRIs. And if you go and search casually on Google, you might feel that there are some solutions already which are there, and developers can pick up those off the shelf open source libraries and start building their own. But trust me, there is so much work that happens after you've created the first concept, that it is very, very different from creating a concept versus actually creating a product which can be used on patients. So when this surgeon approached us, basically the biggest thing we needed to figure out is that how do we really validate the concept that we have created, which automatically detects tumors in MRIs. and how do we make sure that this can cover all the risks, and basically we can submit to a regulatory authority. So in short, there is a huge need of AI, something like AI, which helps us kind of bridge that gap and basically use in better regulatory submissions. So this is the second piece. The third piece I would really focus on is training and education. We've seen that healthcare training and education in healthcare is still a very, very big gap when it comes to tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities also, because they don't have access to like maybe the top institutes of the country, and maybe this doctors don't have that physical uh, you know I would say luxury to go to these events every now and then. So that is where not only does online mode of education come into play, but also what helps really is having assistants 24/7 along your journey, right? So let's say you are a doctor, and if you have an assistant who basically helps, you in taking notes, for example, you have an assistant who helps you with reminders of complex cases that have happened in the past. So I see this is another very, very interesting phase where assistants in training and education, as well as your day-to-day working, would really help the healthcare professionals. So I mean, I'm sorry if I'm taking long, but three very, very interesting areas I see is like personalized line of care. The second is faster go-to-market for products, and the third is training and education for doctors and assistants.
That was really, really very informative. Thank you so much. We have a few minutes. No worries. You can still bring up, one more point if you would like. If there's
Sure.
anything else, yeah.
I mean, in terms of, this is all about the trends in AI and all of that, but I would also try to like digress a little bit here. And basically, this is generic to medtech device development in general. What I feel is that there is sometimes a gap in terms of understanding the entire process it takes to kind of create a medtech device from the concept development to basically commercialization. And I feel sometimes that is a big barrier to entry for a lot of incumbents, because creating a concept and creating a tool is very, very different from commercializing a medical device. We always say that there's a patient at the other end, right? So you have to be very, very sure of how you will basically commercialize it. And what I have seen from a lot of projects now is that 20 to 30% of your entire effort will be actually just based on product development, but 70 to 80% will actually be on how do you get to verify the product, validate it, send for regulatory approvals, and then as the risks of the device or the medical device keep increasing, the regulatory and the verification challenges or effort just keeps increasing as it is. So I would say whatever you can do in terms of learning more about the local regulatory and the what you really need to do in a particular geography to commercialize your product is something you should always be on top of if you're like in this space. This is what sets us different from a lot of other spaces in general. Like, it's not like creating an e-commerce website and promoting it the next day. It's like something that will be used directly or indirectly on a patient. So being aware of the regulatory process is very, very important. I'm sure that a lot of smart folks here already will be aware of these things, but I still feel it's like very, very understated. So I just wanted to highlight that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hitesh. I think it was a lovely, very, very well put introduction where you spoke
Thank
on
you.
all the trends as well as the importance of regulation and that we should be aware of our protocols as well. So with that, we will move to the second speaker of today. So this speaker needs no introduction, but thanks to Lakshmi, we had an amazing intro. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Giridharan, someone who has been so supportive for us ever since we started the hackathon, ever since I told him that this is going to exist. So he has been always telling us, how can I join these teams, or like how can we collaborate and do products together. So Mr. Giridharan, it is yours. Like, you can take off from here with a lovely brief for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we will go to the one-to-one interaction with both of our speakers. So please take over.
Yeah, before moving to any current challenges what we are in the industry we are facing, I would like to address few trends that Desika mentioned. And I don't know whether Hitesh has covered these things or not, But the current trend I would like to discuss with you people. So the major thing still generative AI is having the capability, like it's having the demand in the market that increase, like creating the content in the form of text, images and videos. This is still ongoing demand. This is highly improving the productivity as well as the creativity for the businesses, right? Then another important part is multimodal system. This is the interesting thing that which will make the systems are really human centric, right? If you know, like we are using, most of the applications are accepting our inputs, human inputs in the form of button click and the text format, right? Even we are using chat assistants in the form of text, right? But imagine a world where the systems and applications can understand our language, right? That is like accepting our inputs in any form. Like it could be voice, or it could be images, or it could be a file, whatever it is, right? That is another important thing. It is evolving, and we know that every giants, AI giants are working, focusing on this area. Even ChatGPT, Claude, and Mistral, all are focusing on this area. So here we have a potential opportunity. If you are solving a particular problem, you can think about in this manner, like how you can make this system is really human centric, right? That is the important thing. And another part is edge computing. So the increasing demand for AIoT, this is demanding edge computing, and we need AI capabilities in edge devices. That is another important thing. And democratizing AI part, right? We need to democratize AI for the public, right? The people who doesn't know a coding. We can imagine, like, the person doesn't know coding, but they can still develop applications, and they can still communicate with the systems for analytical and logical tasks. These things are very very important and trending things in what we have observed. And healthcare has a huge potential. And logistics, we majorly working with logistics and healthcare than telecom companies basically. And here we are seeing the lot of potential. And also the challenge here is acquiring customer acquisition is very very crucial. The thing is, even if your AI system is 199% accuracy, it is not acceptable, right? Human errors are acceptable, AI errors are not at all acceptable. This is the one hard thing that we learned from the market, right? When the customer or even the people, their team are ready to, like, if their team is doing some mistake, the people are ready to accept. But if AI is doing the mistake, then they are not ready to accept. So we have to think a system in such a manner, like human in the loop concept. Like we have to be very clear what are all the parts can be handled by AI, and what are all the parts should be handled by a human. So human in the loop system, human plus AI collaboration is very very important. I think many of you watch a movie where a dog robot AI will be hunting people, right? Hunting people like anything. At the end, they will be showing the people will be entering into the building, and they will be trying to take some product from there, like some things will from the building. But the robot dogs will be attacking the human like anything. It will kill the people like anything. At the last, they will be showing the product, the thing, the tool, the building. They will be entering into the building. They will be showing what they are trying to take from the building. It is just a toy, right? The human, think about human security. Human will not kill anyone for taking the toy from the shop, right? But AI is doing so. This is where we need to have a ethical AI. So the interesting part here is we need an AI system to evaluate an AI basically. So if you are building an AI task agent or any application, all the results should be moderated, and then it should be assessed by another AI which is highly responsible, right? That is very important. Then as you all are progressing in AI entrepreneurship, right? This is one important thing, that we should be ready for quick learning and unlearning. The AI capabilities are increasing day by day. Every day, if you see, if you are planning something to build today, after 5 days or 10 days, OpenAI will be releasing the same capability within the platform. So why we are building this application for over like day and night? This is waste of time, right? So we have to be very careful and we have to be very calculated. We should predict what is going to happen in the next near future, right? So in another 3 months, another 2 months, what are the capabilities come? So your platform or application or product, whatever you are building, that should be that technically you should be ready to adopt the capabilities, coming up capabilities, as well as your team is ready to learn and unlearn. As a founders, we should be very, very keen. This is a new way, like it is a temporary learning, definitely, but this is a challenging thing. Who is going to part in this particular challenge? They will be leading the path. That's for sure. So I have I have nothing else to discuss actually. This is the major thing, like what we are facing in the market, and some places people might be building POCs for demonstrating to the customers. Make sure one thing: POCs are not acceptable right now in the market. Like you should be ready with the, you should give the confidence to the customer that I will be taking care of this. Our AI solution will do this. You have to be very clear on this part. People are not ready to accept POC. Even if you are going with the POC, you will burn your money, you will burn your time. So build a solid solution and take it to the customer, then give the confidence to the customer that it will take care. If your solution is not up to the market or if not satisfying the customer, then build that and deliver the system as expected. That is the important thing. And even if some cases your AI platform or product is missing, then you should be keep the human in the loop. That is the major key point, right? So yeah, I think we can go for
Okay. Thank you so much, Giri, for such a, in-depth brief that you have given us. You have covered a lot of different aspects and some of the concerns that you mentioned and how it's important to unlearn, relearn. This is the mantra that we have to follow. When I had, one of the questions, I think this is very important that the students should know as well. So to both Giri as well as Hitesh, if you can answer, like, so everyone is like crazy about AI now and AI tools and creating AI tools or using AI tools, all of this. As far as the challenge is concerned in terms of getting the data to train these models and getting access to all these data. So for students, that is going to be kind of important when you start off, right? Like how do you get the perfect output? So what do you think about this, Hitesh? If you can go first and then we'll have Giri. By that time, guys, please get ready with your questions.
So just that I understand the question correctly, Desika, is it about the challenge of getting access to data or human data, right?
Yes, access to data.
Yeah. So I think the best that has worked for us is partnerships with hospitals. Like I know for a fact there are many, many hospitals, without naming a lot of them, but I know that at least the top 5 hospitals in India, they have a research and development wing. They're actively looking for partnerships with startups, with bigger companies who want to do research, right? So we have signed at least 3 such agreements with one of the biggest hospitals in Gurgaon. So like I mentioned about this tumor example, right? So we needed a lot of MRIs. So the only way to get like MRIs at scale was approach a big hospital, and then they would obviously have some reservations initially, but if you approach with a very clear objective, and if you approach with like a startup, I don't think they have any problem. They're more and more acceptable these days. In some cases it might also help you get feedback from a lot of customers, potential customers within that ecosystem. So I would always take that approach first in terms of approaching a hospital, because that's where I think a lot of data and feedback both can be retrieved.
So collaborations are one of the
key. Absolutely.
Yes. Understood. So Giri, what are your views on this?
Yeah, data in terms of training the models, basically training the AI system.
Yes, exactly. So when they start off, that's going to be very important for them. So
okay, yeah. Actually, there are in market there are free data sets available. In Hugging Face also we can find many data sets, even in healthcare or logistic related things, in finance and legal. Many data sets we can find in the Hugging Face, and other commercials and non-commercials blogs are there, like sites are there. We can download from there. Actually, data sets offering companies also there. We can download from them. As Hitesh mentioned, that the many companies are ready to partner with startups who really ready to do an R&D basically for their particular purpose. They are eagerly waiting for solution. At the end, they want to cut down the cost. They know this is this is going to be the future, right? So the companies and any industries, even healthcare or automobile or whatever it is, they are ready to partner with the startups to do an R&D. Right now, we can see many companies like even Maruti Suzuki started incubations, startup incubations and all. Right, this is very shocking for me. So there we can get the data. They will help us to get the data basically. Apart from
Okay.
you want to
Yeah.
get download from Hugging Face and other things actually. It is specific, domain specific things actually.
Domain specific, yes, absolutely. So we have one of the fantastic teams with us. They are working on AI for education aspect, especially for rural areas, how to integrate, education in these areas. So Shiva, you can go ahead and put forth your idea and then get the feedback from both of our speakers.
Yes, ma'am. So I have two questions. So before getting to my question, I will explain my project. So me and my team are actually building a virtual teacher, which can help students to learn better. Like you are having a perfect teacher with you 24/7. So that's what we are trying to do. So our flagship model will be focused on urban areas, but in the meantime, with the revenue we get from the urban side, we are also focusing to give free education AI tools to the rural areas where they don't have any infrastructure or internet connection. So that's what we are planning to do. So my first question is like Giri has said, if you are building something and suddenly the next day OpenAI has come up with something the next level, we can't compete with them. And recently, a developer from OpenAI posted that the students and researchers from India should not bother creating new models or such, like creating a model for each language, the Bharat GPT, etc. Because you can't compete with the top companies like OpenAI or Microsoft, etc. So what he said is instead of building new models, just focus on testing those models and like giving new data to them or finding some mistakes in the model. So don't bother creating new models or anything new because you have to compete and you have to be better than the top researchers at OpenAI. So what do you think about this, sir?
Yeah, Nitesh, this is exactly a wonderful question. This is the same thing like all the AI startups are facing now. And yes, that is correct. Actually, we need to think, we should not think like OpenAI or Anthropic or Inflection or competitor for us. We should not think like that in manner. Actually, we should think like they are our partner, right? You can initially build a solution and with on top of any commercial available models, and even open source model nowadays are capable of doing things like NVIDIA and Mistral collaboration. They have Nemo is performing well, outperforming, like it is more than Claude and all. Basically, it depends on the test cases. Basically, whatever test cases, whatever the thing we are trying to do with the open source model, if that is working well, then we can take it up. Even we should imagine only one thing. Even OpenAI is not 100%. Like Anthropic is not 100%. So we can build the system on top of OpenAI platform or Anthropic, any commercial models in the beginning to try out, to test it out, how it is working, what is the acceptance of the customer basically. After that, we can try to build an optimized solution. Obviously, OpenAI or Anthropic solutions will not be optimal for long run. So once you can build a tool first to try out the market on top of OpenAI or any other commercial models. After that, you can try on your own. But for education, right, you can go like the personalized learning is very important. Since you are focusing on edtech, you no need to worry about whether it is OpenAI or Claude. You can go for commercial, like open source model available in the sources, right? This is very easy for you to do for specifically for edtech. Even for we are trying also we are also trying with open source model for edtech related use cases.
Yes, sir. And also, if I'm building on top of a Llama 3.1 or a Mistral, someone else can also copy the same thing like I do because it's not difficult to do. If someone can do it, all others can do it as well. So how to stay ahead of other competitors and be always on the stage, sir?
Yeah, this is a really challenging thing. Actually, this is true. That's why democratizing AI, right? So anybody can do on top of, if the AI tool, OpenAI or Anthropic or Inflection or Mistral, anything is given to any other one, any people who just want to prompt, right? They can do the stuff whatever we are doing. Here is what we have to measure: the accuracy, the reliability, and best human AI collaboration. This is what the uniqueness of your solution basically. How effectively your how your system is more personalized. AI is giving a lot of advantages, right? How like how much effectively you are using those advantages. That is what very important. Anybody can do prompt. Anybody can do math calculation. But how you are solving the problem, how you understood the customer at the deep, that is what very important.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
just sorry, I just want to add one small point here, and this is from one of our very recent experiences. Uh, I mean, as much as what is written and printed in the media and market, and they will make a very sensational news out of it. So they will say that, hey, don't build this because next month maybe. Sorry, Giri, I have a slightly different view here because I tend to agree more with the open source mentality where, let's say, somebody like a Mark Zuckerberg is open sourcing all of their flagship models, and also they're encouraging people to build very, very small, specific business case models around specific problems. So, Shiva, it does not matter what AI model you're using. It does not matter what tech you're using, to be honest. What matters is how close you're to your customer and how effectively you can solve their problem. Right. So if you are confident in doing that, like Giri said earlier, right, you have to learn and unlearn. And ultimately, you have to be on top of what is there in the tech. It's just a tool. Like one day you're using one tool, another day a new tool might come up. So I would really, really, especially in medtech, be very, very I would recommend, with all earnestness, to be as close to the customer as possible, understand them, their pulse to the best of your abilities, and then only it would probably give you confidence, in my opinion. Otherwise, it does not usually happen that because of some tech uniqueness one person succeeded and the other did not. It is usually because of how close they were to the customer and how much empathy they had with the customer. If you can take case studies, you'll find that trend over and over and over again. So don't worry about models and the technical capabilities of models. Just figure out what you can do uniquely that other competitors or other players cannot do, and just focus on that, in my opinion.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And also one last thing, sir. So I wanted to ask this for all of us because we are all doing projects related to AI. So when we are in the stage of prototyping, if we want to build a deployment-ready product, I think all must need some funds for computational resources or other deployment-related resources. So how should they should they have investment ready, or how should they tackle that, sir?
Hitesh, you want to? Yeah.
So we are completely bootstrapped right now, and we are bootstrapped to the extent that we have like 40 people in our team right now, and there is only one mantra that we've followed from day one, right? So first, find a customer who's ready to pay for your concept or whatever. Like sometimes we had to do concepts and people were paying for that. This is in the very early days. So unless you have to really, really scale, I would say in the first few years of your business, it is probably more beneficial because, the more lean you are, the less obligations you have, you can actually pivot very quickly. And if you ask me, I'm very opinionated about it, but if you ask me, you should really till the first couple of years not take external funding until you have proven yourself, and then you can just raise funds to scale. And when I say scale, it's just to scale a existing model that works in one location, and then you're just scaling it to another location or other specialization.
Okay.
And in terms of the specific question about running the models and infrastructure around models, I would say use the big companies like OpenAI to fine tune your models, host your models. That is much cheaper than hosting your model, let's say on an AWS infrastructure.
Okay. Here, one point I would like to add. Actually, Nitesh, for your question, you no need to worry about funding, and you no need to worry about how you're going to work, like what infra you're going to use. Actually, if you have proper registered things, right? The companies like AWS, Microsoft, Azure, right? All are ready to give you credits actually. And even if the product is social impact, even Meta has announced recent credits, like credits for startups for impacting social impact. So you can utilize that. One thing, what I would suggest is you just whatever resource you have currently with your in your hand, try to build a solution with that particular resource, market it and sell it. Basically just run a business. After that you think about the further investment and all. Even as Hitesh said, we are also bootstrapped, and it's been a year, and we are working with many of the big companies basically, right? Even more than nearly $1 billion companies also we are talking, and we are building solution for them. This is the AI is democratizing the business basically. Like you can you want to prove that your solution is capable of doing the task whatever they are looking for. That's the thing. You just try to build a solution with the optimal resource what you have currently. That is the best way to go.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. I think that was a lovely start. So next we have Tam Money. Tam Money, please go ahead. You can explain your idea.
Good evening, sir. Sir, our project is to implement a CCTV camera integrated with the AI to monitor it real time and detect the suspicious activity with the help of 3D points and send a report to the authorities. It's our project is to do. Sir?
So he's looking for some insights on how
Okay.
to be, yeah.
If I can ask a couple of questions, who's the like potential customer that you're targeting right now? Like, who are you pitching it to?
Sir, it's a general customer. If they inserted the CCTV camera in this house, the house owner is our customer.
Sorry, house owner. Okay. So, I mean, the very first thing, and I have made this mistake many times, so I don't want anybody else to make this mistake. The very first thing when you like think about an idea is also to think about a very specific segment of users that you want to target, right? So when you say a house owner can be like any house owner, right? So you have to really segment it such that you are very, very sure about like who you want to like pitch it to, because what will happen is that they will have different needs and requirements and even like different spending parity. So what I would really suggest before you even think about it is like, who's the target segment or the target person? Is it somebody like you, or is it? Yeah, sorry,
Sir,
please.
actually, CCTV is bad. In which property the CCTV is inserted, the property owner is our customer.
Okay, have you talked to like some property owners like that for their feedback?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, and how did you like approach the questions? Like, what were the questions you were trying to seek answers to? I'm just trying to understand, like, what was the feedback that they gave you, like, from how many people did you talk to so far?
So far, I care about this to my friends and our faculties.
Okay. So what I would, I mean, before Giri, I'll just make one suggestion. So what I would suggest is like, at least talk to like 10, 15 people who you think would be your potential customers.
How did you implement the detecting the motions?
Sorry, what's that?
Sir, they questioned me about how did you detect the actions of somebody by motion tracking? Did you find the algorithm or not? They question like that.
So they question about the algorithms.
So,
and did you like ask them like why they are interested in algorithms?
Actually, I inquired to the faculty members. They inquired about the algorithms.
Okay. So basically, what I'm trying to like share is that before you like even spend any effort in terms of building that tech, I would definitely, what we do is we call it like the mock-up or the concepts without actually even writing one single line of code. We go to different people who we think could be like potential customers, and we first validate whether what we are trying to build is actually going to like solve the problem, and if it is going to solve the problem, how much will it actually like what is the amount they're willing to pay. Like you may not have the exact idea, but you will definitely get a sense when you talk to first 10-15 people. And the one very important thing to keep in mind at this stage is to not talk about technology, like not talk about the tech behind it, the algorithms, because what users are generally paying for is like the value prop. Like, so you have to be really clear on the value proposition that your product is bringing to them, and just validate it. That's what I would suggest in the initial phase.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
May I speak, ma'am?
1 second, Vicky. So we had Deepak. Deepak, you're there? Or else?
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Also from our team, ma'am.
Deepak, you can hear who? Tamar, yeah. You want to
Vicky
ask
is
another
also from
question?
our team, ma'am.
Oh,
Vicky
same
is
team.
also
Okay, okay. Then you can ask. Yeah. Go ahead, Vicky. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So basically, sir, our project is like to detect the malicious activity with the help of CCTV camera. We are using the 3D points detection system, sir. So the thing you asked was what are targeted areas on implementing these cameras, right, sir? So basically, we would like to implement these in places where the crime rates are too high, especially during the night times. So with the help of these cameras, we can able to prevent the crime better than curing the victims. So we can easily able to take actions at the moment of the malicious activity being happened there. So not only for the home at all, sir, we can implement it. It's a simple thing. In CCTV camera, we are just putting some add-on like 3D points detection system. Basically, how it works was it will detect your actions, and if something is malicious detected, it will alert the owner of the store, or it doesn't mean only owner of the store. It may also be the municipal of the government. So to whoever it may be, sir. So for example, I'm saying you, if this system is implemented in a place which is too risky to walk on the night times. So at that time, if something is happened around malicious for innocent people, so that information will be directly sent to the government authorities, like police station or whatever it may be, something like guarding authorities. Okay, sir. It will alert us that something malicious happening there. It not only tell us that something malicious, it also tell what is actually happening there, whether it is a chain snatching, or it is a abusive thing happen over there, or whatever the malicious activities being happen there, we can able to know that before it getting into done, sir. So this is our project, and we are going to do this with the help of AI and machine learning algorithms, in which we are using the 3D point system, because the 3D point system will give you the each and every movement of your body, which will be easy for AI to detect whether what you're actually trying to do, sir. So this is our project. So what would you say for this, sir? I just need some ideas and whether it is effective or not from you, sir, from your point of view.
I love the idea, but all I'm saying is don't get very attached to the technical details initially. Please, I would humbly request you. I would humbly request you to basically figure out your segment. Like you said, like right now, if I understand you correctly, you mentioned the authorities are also a part of the ecosystem that you want to basically partner with, and then somebody like a store owner or a supermarket owner, they will also be involved, and then obviously there is the person who's involved. So from like a non-tech perspective, there are too many moving parts, right? So you need to basically focus on one very specific area. Let's say, just to throw an example, I would probably go to a Reliance market store, or a supermarket, and show them the utility of this system, saying that, hey, I'll do a demo for you. You can actually save a lot of cost on your manpower, or security and things like that. And are you okay? Are you going to like spend money on, let's say, a monthly subscription of XY rupees for implementing this? So once you have a go ahead from some segment like that, you can then easily scale, instead of going very, very broad initially, which you will very quickly basically probably get into that trap of like feeling that there are many neat points in the market. But what happens usually is that when you don't segment out a very specific segment in the beginning, then it is difficult to really kind of scale quickly later on because you're spread very thin. So I trust all your ability, and I know this is a fantastic idea. But what I would do as the next step is basically figure out a customer segment, let's say a supermarket owner, or even for that matter, if you think the authorities or the police system are a better, customer. I just figure out meetings with them, give them this proposal that if they agree on that, then I will give them some sort of timeline here. In the next 1 month, I will roll out this solution for you, but you have to pay this for me. And if they pay, then that in itself is a validation for you that this is what works. My opinion or anybody's opinion is an opinion at the end of the day, right? What matters is a customer willing to pay you for, even for a small amount of time, are they willing to invest? That's what I would strongly suggest. And you don't need to build the software for that or the product for that. You can just go with a concept, with a PPT, with a mock-up, with an idea, and let them invest into it.
Sure, sir.
Does that help? I hope that is helpful.
Yes, it helps, sir.
Giri, you would like to add something, or we can move to the next?
Whatever Hitesh said, that's the same thing I will also tell. Just focus on one particular use case, only one particular use case. Recently, we came across some use cases similar to like a jewelry shop. They want to identify a particular the elite customers basically. They want to identify the elite customers. Here the major pain problem is a customer who was billing 3 crore in the previous month. Okay, the customer is visiting some other branch, and he is buying a small ring. By the time the sales people were treating them it was not good actually. So it was disappointing for that particular customer, and that's the case. The shop owner was thinking about, I want to identify my elite customers, and also I want to identify the block list. Basically, some people will be roaming around the branches and shops, and they will be doing some immoral activities, right? They want to identify these things. So similarly, you just take one particular use case and try to sell that for that particular purpose. That is right. Then after that, your system will evolve, obviously, because here you no need to build you no need to code and build a solution. Here everything will be going for a prompt and fine tuning the models, right? So you focus on one area and give the solution properly, accurate solution for that particular area. Then you can expand.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Deepak, we'll have your idea next. Please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. So, good evening, sir. So, sir, what we are trying to do is like we have a CocaCola bottle. So, actually, it has 40 grams of sugar, but it is written on its nutrition label, but it is written in such a way that a normal person can't know about it. And even if someone knows 40 grams is in the Coca-Cola, then actually we don't know how much a human needs, what is the tolerance of the person. So what we are trying to do is trying to use AI in that, like we will scan the nutrition level and it will tell if it is good for us or not. But sir, I got feedback from many experts and they said, no, you can't rely totally on machine learning for these things. But what we are trying to do is not just using API, but we are using RAG, like we are exploring the research papers and then responding to user. So my question is it enough, or like we have to actually do something else, like going to nutritionist and asking them for actually what we can, how we can tell user about it?
Actually, Deepak is working on providing the nutritional, details of any product. Say, if it's a Coca-Cola bottle, we don't generally understand how much sugar is there or anything of that sort. So they're trying to build a platform where they can use AI to sort of that clarity of nutritional content in each particular product that a consumer gets before they, go to purchasing that product. So how do they go about it? That's what he's asking. Like,
I think any food or nutrition related things, we need to check with the compliances properly. And because also we need to provide, if you're trying out simply, then we need to provide the disclaimer on the same screen, wherever you are showing the result. That is very important. And in terms of building a solution like the nutrition content, the information, you mentioned that you are using RAG. I think that is enough, and you can feed that at cheaper cost, right? Instead of training the model every time, you can use RAG. That is very, for this particular use case, RAG is best solution basically.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So, sir, I mean, we are also trying to tell user what diet he should take on daily basis. Like currently, people go to the nutritionist and tell what should I eat, but what we are trying to is using machine learning in it. So it is also enough. Like we will use RAG in it also.
You mean identifying, calculating the nutritions, the diet plan for the users?
Yeah, personalized diet plan like.
I think you should have nutrition, proper nutritionist, at least physician. Definitely you should have. Otherwise, it is not recommended basically.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
So next we will go to Sejal. Sejal, if you're there, you can go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good evening to sir, and I hope I'm audible. Actually, sir, first of all, I will go through with our idea. We are making an e-commerce platform. So, in that, it's an application actually where the seller who is selling the product have to click their product photos and put it in our app, and our AI will scan that product and give the complete details of that product, like its quality and everything. So, sir, actually, me and my team members doesn't know anything about AI. We are in zero level on it. So, can you please elaborate like how we should make it and what to do, how to put the data and all?
Have you explored any solution like how you want to build?
So that's what we are asking actually.
So actually, they are working on handloom or handicraft sort of products in Chhattisgarh, basically to promote these. So they'll onboard the people and try to get their products in this particular area. That's what they're trying to do. So how do they integrate AI into this? He's trying to.
Okay. So yeah, before going to the solution, right, I just want to know whether you have explored any solution or what is the problem you have faced in that. You're starting now, right? Okay. So
Yes,
what
sir.
we can do is actually there is an open source model like the system which is similar to Perplexity. You can use Perplexity also, or you can use Perplexia, which is an open source one and which is using the browser engines. And while taking the photography, like you should get the details of the product from the vision. You just take the details of the product, the brand, the product name, the category, everything. After that, you can take it to the browser if you want to do real-time browsing. Then you can do that browser model engine you can use. Then you can show the result to the customer. So two things you need to know. One is a vision model and another one is the browser, real-time searching. I hope this answers.
Sir, actually, the product which is going to sell through our platform is not any kind of brand. It is just for the local merchants who is selling the products and all. Like in Chhattisgarh, if we see, they sell the handloom sarees and all, and bell metal works, and also for them it is.
Okay, then why you want to take the photo? Basically, if you want to take the photo, then it will be explaining about the product, right? That's what you said.
Yes, sir. It will explain the quality and also that the buyer who will buy our product will have the complete details of that product.
Okay, so you should have the details like the product. You will be having the product details because since it is your own product, like the local
It
product.
is not our product, sir. We are just working as a mediator actually.
Okay.
The buyer who will sell the product, they just have to click the product photos and all. Actually, they are they are working with the tribal peoples and all. Like Chhattisgarh, mostly this kind of product and all tribal peoples will sell. So they don't know how to do this and like how to go through with this. So that's why for them it will we want them that these things will go through easily. So
Okay, is it possible for
our
you to
AI will, yes, sir.
product data, the details of the product, basically? How you will
That's what, sir. Our AI will detect the details of that product, actually.
But the end, you will be having the system, like it is your own platform means then it should have the data. You should prepare the data, right? I think
that's what, sir, we are asking, how to put the data and all.
Okay, I think you can. Yeah, you just you have the plan to collect the data.
Yes, sir. We have planned to collect the data, but we don't know how to implement that things and all.
Okay, yeah, actually, you just collect the data and just read about the RAG systems and simple LLM prompting. This is more than enough to achieve this basically. And since you are taking the photos, then you should map these photos with the data whatever you have. So you have to work with the vision model as well.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. I think Hitesh.
I would just like to add, like you can try out Google AI Vertex platform. It's really good. So it does a great job at identifying images. I'm sure they have the option of augmenting images so that you can upload your data set and then tag those images. Similarly, we have AWS services also. Like you will have a lot of such services where you can add your data. I would suggest that these two should be helpful for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we'll go to the next. Hemashri, please explain your idea.
Hello, sir. First of all, nice insights this evening, sir. So basically, we are working on integrating agriculture with artificial intelligence. We intend to develop a solution called Farm Precise, wherein a locality of the farmer will only be taken as a data set. From there, we will collect other factors like the weather conditions, soil of that locality, temperature, pH, and all other required details. With all these data, we would develop a forum wherein the farmers will be assisted on what type of seed should be sowed and how much and what is the timeline to sow that seed, how much amount of water and all other resources are needed to put into the field, and in what quantity the resources should be put in, and in what time that resources should be put in order to achieve the best growth stage. On doing all these, we will also predict the harvest rate and the market analysis. Basically, it is all about the AI prediction, sir. We are currently working on this only. On hearing this, I just got two questions flashed into my mind. The very first one is, first of all, how to determine which machine learning algorithm is the most efficient for that particular specific problem. And the second one is, we also have an idea of integrating computer vision with AI. So what are some effective methods for using computer vision in conjunction with AI to monitor specific plant growth and detect anomalies?
Okay. Hitesh, do you want to?
It's a very fascinating idea. I just want to understand a couple of things. How are you planning to reach out to the farmers? Like, what is your distribution channel?
So through a mobile app, sir. We also have integrated hardware. Mobile app, we are planning to develop it in Flutter in front end, and for back end it is Node. Database it is MySQL. So keeping this aside, we also incorporated some weather APIs so far. With all these, we are working on developing models right now.
I have a very different way of thinking about it. You should, and please don't take it with a pinch of salt. Like if you don't like it, just reject the idea. I think you should not spend anything on apps. You should focus on WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is something that every farmer would have. And also in terms of building an application, you should think of it in terms of agents. So it's a very different way of thinking about the same problem. But essentially what happens is that if you create a new app, you have to like go through the pain of making every farmer install that app, and then you end up having a customer acquisition cost, right? So that is one thing you don't need in the beginning. And I've seen a lot of companies, especially in MedTech and people who are interfacing with patients, they are now moving from mobile apps to WhatsApp agents, because they feel that they have a much bigger reach in that. And I think from a farmer's perspective, that's even better, because I presume every farmer would have WhatsApp. The other is like an agent. Like think of an agent as an assistant, but which is much smarter, and it has access to all these tools, like you mentioned, like the weather API, the soil API. These are all services that you can implement in the backend. But I think, in my opinion, the architecture should be such that your agent is able to talk to all these tools or services, and then it replies back in the form of a WhatsApp chat. Of course, you can create the mobile app also within the similar architecture, but I think it will be much cheaper for you if you like use existing WhatsApp to like acquire the customers or users in your case.
Okay, sir. So, then what could be some effective methods in order to incorporate computer vision along with AI to monitor plan growth and detect anomalies, sir? Using
Yes.
computer vision and AI together.
Yeah, one thing I would suggest is going through Crew AI. I mean, this is one very popular way of creating agents these days. It's an open source library, but it helps you create agents. And in terms of other computer vision related APIs, I would again suggest something like Google AI Vertex or AWS services, so that you can build specific functionality using these APIs, which are hosted by, let's say, a Google or an AWS, and then you can use Crew AI to create agents which ultimately interface with your WhatsApp. So that would create it would be much faster for you to like create that case, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you.
Again, if you need any help and if you need like more insights on this, we have created something similar, and I'll be happy to share those details, in more details.
Sure, sir. We would like to look after it.
And Hemashri, actually, first of all, this is a very fantastic idea. I would like to add some point. So, do you know convergence concept? Actually, for planned growth and all, we need a convergence technique to identify the planned growth. And another part is you were mentioning that you will be suggesting the plans, right? So for suggesting the plants, only pH is not enough. We need to find NPK of that particular soil. Post that only we can suggest the correct plant for that particular soil.
So yeah, sir, I just mentioned 2 or 3 factors, sir. We have listed so many factors, and that would be given as data set. Finally, we'll get the predictions, sir.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, for vision, you can explore YOLO and Pi. Pi is doing good in with these things, the Google Pi. And even some other open source models are there. Like you can explore, like in Hugging Face, you can find these models basically.
So I've actually worked on YOLO for predicting count of vehicles in a road, but I was not pretty sure to incorporate this agriculture forum into that YOLO. That's why I just wanted to ask this.
Yes, that is correct. Actually, it is very good at object detection. You can try out Pi. Pi is for just an R&D purpose. After that, you can find out which one is good for your solution basically. At high level, it is a generic purpose vision model. You can multi-model. You can use that for doing R&D. After that, post that you can build your own solution with any other open source model, any other open source vision model available. You can feed the data and you can train it.
Okay, so thank you. Yeah. That was so informative.
Awesome. So can we have Chiranjeevi next?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So good evening, Mr. Hitesh and Giridharan sir. So we are Shivas Technologies from Coimbatore. So our product is based on monitoring and giving alerts on the maintenance of civil structures, which is considered any materials. So we'll be monitoring the health of civil structure and giving the alerts to our customers, like if there is any issue or if there is any failures in the civil structure. So we are using IoT integrated with AIML. So I have a question and doubt with for you guys is, so for a lab prototype, we have done a AI model through Jupyter. So instead of using Jupyter, I have to host this AI thing in some system. So how can I do that? And how could I integrate this IoT and this AI model? And another question is that is there any algorithms rather than CNN?
Okay, do you have the plan to do with any LLM model, or you want to try with the transformer itself?
I couldn't get you, so could you be?
Like, you want to use any LLM model, like general purpose LLM models, uh, or you want to do with the ML, simple ML techniques, basically?
So, may I know what is the difference? Because I'm not deep into the AML. My team is to see into that, but she's not available now. I'm purely about IoT. So, can you please differentiate?
Okay, if your use cases, like if your use cases are very random and highly the inputs are varying thing, it is where you need reasoning abilities, then you can go for LLMs. And if you are looking for a specific thing which is automating like repeated task, you can try with ML itself.
Okay, so as you said, it will be on LNM actually, because we'll be taking readings for the time interval from the sensors and the continuous image processing thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we met at the last time in Chennai, Anna University, right? Like you will be deploying the sensors within the building.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Have you find the solution for this durability of these things?
We're working on it, sir, currently, because we have on the
that's great
thing with ACT project, so we are working on it.
Okay, since your data set, like the input data is very selective and it is defined, right? You can directly integrate with LLM and you can suggest the solution. Like you should have the conditions in hand, like which is the conditions data. What are the ranges? What are the parameters values? The ranges you need to classify, identify, and then after defining that, you will be providing the values for that, right? Values in the sense the result, basically the suggestions and all. So those things you can feed into your storage system, and you can use the LLM model directly integrating it, and you can provide the solution.
Okay, so where could I host it other than Jupyter like that?
Have you tried any Mistral, these kind of things, Mistral or Llama?
No, sir, I don't have any idea on that.
Okay. Your actually your solution is when you're looking for AI. Basically, you're already taking the measurement, the parameters to the system.
Yes, for continuous monitoring, actually, we will be giving that. So, on which parameter, on which scale of reading, this is a problem. So, it need to identify it in an autonomous way, not with any human interactions.
Okay, basically for alert, notifications, and then insight, right?
Yeah.
You no need to take a lot of efforts in this area. Like you can directly integrate with any LLM model like Mistral, Llama, and all.
Okay.
Then you can provide the solution. Like you can directly integrate with. That is the easy way, because your core strength, your unique strength is your product, actually. What you're building, that is the thing. AI is just an add-on for you.
Yeah. Okay, sir. And also we are using other sensors. We'll be using image processing for the outer of the building, right? So outer analysis of the building. So for image processing, you're done with now is CNN algorithm. So rather than CNN, if there's any effective algorithm.
I think Hitesh, can you help here?
Actually, CNN is really powerful. I mean, it's not like CNN has any limitations that. But again, like it depends, like what architecture of CNN you actually are using. Is it like open source? Is it some off-the-shelf model? So, do you know what exactly architecture is? What the architecture is?
No, sir. Actually, we have done with help of our faculty.
Okay, so in general, CNNs are very powerful for image-related stuff. But I would still suggest, like, if you want to use something off the shelf through the APIs which are exposed by even OpenAPI has vision capabilities now. So it should work in your case, like, because in your case they don't have to really create something special. Like Giri said, it's more like an add-on in your case, so it should work.
Yeah. Okay.
So guys, we have a couple more questions. We'll keep it a little faster so that we can finish. Dhanalakshmi, you can go now.
Hello, sir, to both of you. So, I am Dhanalakshmi. So, our project is basically helping women in providing solution for period cramps they face every month. So, the UNICEF data says that about every month, 1.8 billion people menstruate. So we are providing period cramps patches, reliever pain reliever patches. So these patches are basically non-invasive. So they are powered with AI. So that AI chip will actually customize. It will customize therapy. It will provide a customizable therapy for the women for just removing the pain during her menstrual time. So the chip is actually it will learn the muscle contractions and the signals of the muscles so that associated with that menstrual pain, and it will actually provide a customizable heat therapy. So how do I actually employ AI for this, and how do I work on this further, sir? So your perspectives on this.
So just to start with, like, at what stage are you right now, Dhanalakshmi? Is it like the concept stage, or have you already started doing some trials?
Actually, we have seen that there is actually potential customers in the market too. So we are actually integrating AI for this. So yeah, we are in the concept stage, sir.
Okay, so sorry, but I would slightly use a different vocabulary here because in order to, like, this is something that can directly impact and it can have a risk for you in terms of, like, whatever can go wrong. Like, we always think of medical and we always joke, like, we say the Murphy's law will always be applicable, right? Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. So you have to really do a very, very proper trial in terms of, like, whether this is clinically safe for people to use. Right now, you might feel that it's relatively safe. But what I would suggest initially is that you can partner with somebody who has like a clinical degree and who can actually help you do a trial. And at that point of time, you will automatically understand the need which exists and where AI can like fill in.
Yes,
right now, instead of thinking about AI as a solution initially, I would rather use this to do the initial trials.
The product is actually to provide that is relieve the pain of periods cramps. So that's what it actually is.
Yeah, but have you like understood like what that means
But
in terms
really
of?
the data of the customer, like if I say that the person who's actually getting the pain, so we are actually giving a customizable therapy. People actually go for pills or drug for that. So we're actually giving this patch which actually can give some heat over that pained area. So in order,
Yeah, but let me. Yeah, I completely agree with you, and this is a brilliant idea. But what I'm saying is, like, let's say the pain actually gets worse if somebody applies your patch. So, how do you like handle such a situation?
pain getting worse due to the patch.
Yeah, because this is what will happen. Like the patients or people who will use it, they will come back to you, and you'll have all kinds of people, and they will say that this did not work for me, and they will probably think of some legal action also, which is something you have to take into account when you're like creating something which is going to be directly used by the patient. So I strongly suggest at this point of time, please partner with somebody who's already a clinical expert and at least do a clinical trial with that person, and then you can understand where the pain point is and what you need to do in order to convert this into a medical device.
Yes, sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sorry, I don't know if that was helpful, but we have learned a lot of hard lessons in this space by going too fast and getting too focused on technology and then learning that, one simple mistake and everything gets killed in one day. So please don't do that.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Harshvardhan, can you go next?
So, one more question, sir. So, are we actually approach for that approval kind of thing? Like you already said that 70% goes with approval, all of that.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing you can do is, I can also help you like offline in terms of the processes that exist, and you have to first thing in terms of the markets that you're targeting. Like if you're targeting an Indian market, so you have to basically go through the Indian regulatory process, and it takes at least 3 to 6 months to like get the approvals after you've submitted the approvals. So I can share that because that will take longer. I can share more context and data later with you, maybe through, however you want. Like.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, Harshvardhan, you can go.
Good evening to both of you. I'm Harshvardhan. I'm doing a project in MedTech. My project, I'm I would like to solve the problem and more like wait, 1 minute, 1 minute. My problem or my project is finding diseases through saliva, like taking saliva from the patients or people, and using or giving data sets, and feeding an AI about the symptoms that a person has, and giving the what do you say, giving the symptoms, or these would be the disease that you have. My question is to Mr. Hitesh is that what are all the things that I can do to find the regulations that I need to do so that my project will be more efficient? So people will not give their saliva easily to me, right? So what can I do to convince them to make sure to give them to me, like the saliva, or how can I use it?
I would say create a thermometer. So create a thermometer which extracts the saliva and somehow basically detects it. So apart from that, like on a more serious note, basically, again, I would say you have to partner with people who you think are your best bets in terms of the clinical experts. So I would go to a general physician or go to like 10 general physicians, because they are usually the first touch points for patients, and they know the first line of treatment, or basically they interface with the patients first. So I would discuss with them that this is my idea. Why don't you basically try my like concept for the next 3 to 6 months, and I will support you in that journey. And if this works out, I will be willing to make you like a product. I will share the product with you in terms of sometimes it's revenue, sometimes it's fame. So most of the devices or most of the development that happens in medtech is always through collaboration. Like it cannot be us engineers alone, or the doctors alone, or the healthcare professionals alone. So that's why I keep like saying this, like always be closer to your customer, to your in this case it's going to be a healthcare professional. So please reach out to at least 10 such people, explain your concept to them, and tell them that you're willing to do this with them and partner with them in terms of creating this product. Sometimes we've seen that a lot of doctors, they are very very interested in also publishing. So you can even go to them with this idea that I want to publish this with you and see how it works out. You don't need to go to them on day one and say that you're interested in productizing it or commercializing it. Even if you go with the fact that you want to publish some research article with them, they will be happy and they will be forthcoming, the ones who are like really good. And then at the same time, you can get enough data for you to at least understand of how to kind of go about the regulatory process after that. This is what I would do if I'm in your place.
Okay, thank you. That is my question. No other question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hitesh, for such a nice offer. We'll go for Deepika next. Deepika, you can ask.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, sir. So myself, Deepika from Team Neurotronics. So I will explain my project in a concise manner. So our idea is like our country is considered as second in diabetes. So like for diabetic neuropathy, we have come up with a screening tool, sir. So already there are existing devices, but the existing devices are like so costly. So we Team Neurotronics have come up with cost-effective screening tool with integrating with engineering people. So we are medical students. We three of us are medical students in our team. So what is your insight over our device? How it will fit into the current market landscape, sir?
Again, Deepika, like, have you talked to like potential users of your device?
Yes, sir.
So what are they saying? Like, and how many people did you end up talking to?
Sir, like we have a professor who is specialized with food neuropathy, and he is our mentor, and he told us like there is a demand for this device as even now we have no at every home we have at least one diabetic patient. So this diabetic neuropathy, if they get, if they did not detect at the early stages, it might lead to amputation of the leg. So if people in our home have this device at every home, if they are having diabetes, it will be so useful. So that is the reason we have come up with the solution. And we even spoke with few people and we got a fund from BIRAC. So we are at prototyping stage. So the question often people ask to us is, it is good, the idea is good, but it is subject because we will be using this diabetic tool in the foot of the patient, and we will be asking the patient whether they feel the vibration or not, and it is going to be subjective. So the people, those who are seeing our device, used to ask like why it is not objective, why the device can't predict it by itself how much they can feel. So we are working on that idea. So you have any insights like how we can go with objective?
Have you already partnered with somebody, because you are all medical students and you have medical background? Like, do you have anybody in your team who has like engineering background, or if you're planning to work with somebody like that?
Yes, so we have an engineering student. So our colleges like already they have engineering. So we have collaborated with them. So we are doing in it.
Okay. I mean, it looks like what you're trying to do can be possible, but instead of like, I mean, I think from the engineering standpoint, I would also figure out, like you said, like, is it something that a normal person can use on his own, or should it also be through, let's say, another healthcare professional? Like, so in short, should you be selling to the doctors or should you be selling directly to the patient is a very important question I would figure out before like going too deep into the engineering piece. Like, because it might have a completely different need if you are like directly going to the doctor and versus if you're going to the patient.
So our first, of course, our first target are going to be the health professionals like doctors. So our next target is going to be patients.
Okay. Again, what do you think is the bigger, like, where is the bigger need right now? Is it with the patients or with the healthcare professionals?
First is for health professionals, sir.
Okay, so I would just say just focus on them. Don't even focus on patients. Because like again, same point, like instead of focusing, like going too broad, I would say pick up one area and go very, very deep with them. Again, I would say do the same thing. I know you have medical background, but I would still say pick up 10 people who regularly see diabetic patients, or people who are like, who are the users of your device or to be a device, and then just create a panel with them and just focus with them for the next 3 to 6 months and understand their needs more closely. I know you have some sense of it, which is good, a very good point to start with. But what happens when you do this close collaboration is that you'll understand some things which otherwise you will miss without like spending time with them. And in terms of engineering aspect, I would just say that what you are trying to do is achievable. So I would not think of that as the biggest risk. So I would not start with that. I would start basically focus on that once I have a panel in place and once I validate this through them, and then I would focus on that problem later on. And again, I can help you if you want. I mean, people are there, but that I think should be the second thing you should do instead of like the first thing, in my opinion.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I think next is for Giri from Jaga Janani. Jaga Janani, if you are there, you can ask.
Yes, ma'am. So, good evening, sirs. So, hope you guys are doing good. So, I'll just keep the question like, simple. So, what AI tools or the models can be efficient for the defect detections other than the regular one is like YOLO V8 model? So, what would you suggest for defect detection?
For defect detections, right?
Yes, sir.
What are the models you have tried already?
We have stick on to the YOLO V8 model for now. So, like we need some other like suggestions on any other model that can be efficient, or like any AI tool that would be like useful for defect detecting.
Okay, defect detection is for it's a generic purpose, or it's for a particular kind of product.
So we have the more like for what we have chosen is like for aerospace engines. For that we have used we thought of using defect detection for that.
Okay, the engines will be in different. The different manufacturers will have different set of engines, and different parts will be there in the engine. So you have to find the defects in that.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So what is the accuracy rate in YOLO?
So it is approximately around like 90% something, I guess. I haven't looked further in it.
Okay. Have you tried with Sonnet?
No, sir. That's why like we have till now stick on to the YOLO gate. So we don't have like we don't know any other models is available. So it is we are in the stage of like idea process. So now we have to develop it to a prototype. So
okay. For Vision, the GPT-4o and Sonnet is doing good. First, we will try out these things. After that, we can try with the Pi. So this is the way you have to test the Vision model. Basically, Vision nowadays, Vision is not much capable. Even open source models are not much capable of doing all these things in a generic manner. Generic reasoning is not there. So what you need to do is you just figure out, you just try with Sonnet. After that, after finding the result, you can try with the pi. You can compare the results, and you have to find the workaround to do this with the pi itself, or any even you can do this with the YOLO. Just you need to change the approach how you are doing it basically. In case if you want to when you want to increase the accuracy or the problems, if you want to identify the problems defects, then you can capture the data and you just describe the information about the defect images, right? The images basically. After you can combine the solution with the vision as well as the text. Just first you need to extract the information, and then you can, along with that, you can use the YOLO model. This case will give you the accuracy.
Okay, sir. I understood. Thank you so much, sir.
Hitesh, if you're available, I think this is for you. So this is from Mahati. They are working on smart gloves to provide assistance in day-to-day, tasks for autism children. So they want to know whether the children facing level 3 autism disorder will also be able to adapt to the environment of actually wearing this. Will it be usable is the question.
Sorry, can you explain a little bit more about the product?
So they are basically working on smart gloves for autism children, right? So there are different levels of autism disorder. Apparently, the lower levels to the highest. Will the level 3 disorder spectrum, will they be able to adapt to wearing this actually? Can they wear it and viably use this? So which kind of target they should focus on and narrow down for the product? That's what they're trying to understand.
Yeah. It's very difficult to say anything without seeing the product and without actually seeing how it works. But as a general thumb rule, what I would do is basically start with level 1. So in terms of the progress with level 1, has there been any is it a regulated product right now? Is it something? How does it? There are many questions. I have sorry, but
so they're in a concept like just now they're building the gloves, right? They're all in a concept. Yeah, just now they're building it.
Okay, so I would stay away from any clinical area in the beginning. I mean, I would rather focus on it like a behavioral training. So in autism, there are a lot of people who undertake these trainings. So I would ask, is it something that can be used as a tool for them, so that they can use that further in their trainings? Again, without seeing the product.
So they are basically using gesture control of the, they're trying to work on a gesture controlled system. That's what they're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, there are a lot of trainings that happen for autism, right? So these trainings are done by very, very skilled workers and healthcare professionals who have some sort of experience in that. So the first thing I would figure out is talk to them and see if this is a tool which is going to at least decrease the time it takes for them to undertake these trainings, or basically improve the outcome of these trainings. If one of the two is possible through this glove, I would just basically focus on that. Because what happens is that if you don't go through the trainer in this case, you might basically have to redo what the trainer is already doing. So I would just latch on to what the existing experts are doing and see if it improves and helps them in any way. That would be the first indicator of something which is very, very useful for them and for people in general.
Thank you so much, Hitesh. I think Sahana, you can go next.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Our idea is to develop a smart gloves equipped with various sensors like accelerometer, gyroscope, force sensors, and for heart rate monitoring, blood pressure monitoring. Like that, we are embedding various sensors in the gloves, and using this, we are going to predict the stroke in the early stages itself. And these gloves will capture diverse physiological data like hand movements, muscular activities, cardiovascular parameters, etc. And we will be feeding the data which we are getting from the sensor into the deep learning models to predict whether stroke risk factor is there for the person or not. So my question is, what AI tools can be used to optimize the model parameters and architecture for better accuracy and efficiency in stroke risk prediction?
I mean, the idea is brilliant, but this is a very difficult one because you need a lot of historical data also, right? How do you know like what happens before the stroke, right? How do you get that data?
Sir, for that we are consulting the practicing doctors to get more insights. We are in the idea stage only. So can you give some more ideas for developing our project, sir?
I mean, this is a typical classical deep learning problem, right? So you have a lot of data, and then for some of the data, it would basically lead to, let's say, a stroke situation, right?
Yes, sir.
So once you have enough data at your disposal, I mean, this is just then a classical deep learning machine problem that you like refine your model so that it accurately predicts the cases where actually the stroke happened versus where it did not happen. But I don't think that is the bigger piece. You should not even worry about that because the bigger piece here is that how do you get the data? Like once you have like say 1,000 cases of which let's say 500 are where the stroke happened and 500 are where the stroke did not happen. And at that point of time, you will have like a really good base to build your product and model on top of it.
Yeah, sir. Our target customer is healthcare professionals, sir. First of all, then.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this is a very, very brilliant idea because I know for a fact that we were working with some neurosurgeons here, and their struggle is very, very time critical in the sense that they say that, once a stroke happens, let's say in a village which is even 2 hours from the hospital, it is very, very important to get the patient very quickly in and, go for the surgery. So if you can do that, like, hats off to you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we have an idea of using CNN, RNN, and LSTM for predicting. Will it be okay, sir?
I think deep learning is classical. Like this is a classical deep learning problem. You don't need to even look otherwise.
Okay, sir.
Sorry, guys, because of the time, I'm just going to take just 5-10 minutes. If it's okay with both of you, we have just 3-4 more questions. Is that okay?
It's okay with me. No.
Okay, great. So sweet. Thank you. So, Giri, this is for you. So this team is trying to understand that they want to find the right data set in building AI models for construction drones to perform tasks such as air quality monitoring, percolation. Again, this is with the construction. It's a different team. So they are working on AI for the construction drones to perform air quality, percolation, monitoring of all the safety standards using the camera. This is one part. So what kind of models they apply here. Additionally, they want to use AI-based document management for the construction sector, like putting all the plans together, organizing it, so that all the pages can get summarized when there are a lot of designs, a lot of plans in construction. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think this one we have seen last time. And
yes, so they are in the next stage improving with the model, so you can give your inputs to them.
Yeah, sure. Actually, for this particular thing, YOLO is the best thing. Last time also, what I have observed is they want to identify the objects and the people. For people, face recognition, they can do with the simple ML models. And for basically, they will be having the data and they should find the pattern. Then they can find the employees or the workers who are all in the site, basically. And other than that, there's the objects. They are going to control the objects multiple objects within the site environment, like it's bricks and cements and many things, right? These are the major things they were focusing, and in terms of security, they were trying to identify the objects. So most of the cases will be solved by YOLO itself for them, right? In terms of document processing, YOLO is not at all recommended. They have to go with some other things like test track they can do first thing. After that, they can use some vision model, which is performing well with the data extraction.
Thank you so much, Giri. So, Yashini, yeah, please go ahead, Giri.
And for them, this is very wider. Whatever they are telling is very, very wider. They have to focus on one particular thing first. Any one they have to take. After that, they can improve the system for scaling the system, basically.
Thanks so much, Giri. So, Yashini, if you are there, you can go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, sir.
I think this is for you. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, sir. So, actually, what we are doing is you might have heard about autism, dyslexia, such disorders, but we are developing a different product for dysgraphic kids. This is a condition called dysgraphia, in which specifically the kids have the difficulty in learning, especially in writing. They'll have difficulty in holding the pen, spacing the letters, and the size of the letters. They face difficulties in this. So when we actually take look into what solution is being done, most of the solutions are therapy based. They are given therapies and trainings, but we wanted to give a hands-on experience and create a practicing aid for the kids. In that way, what our idea is that we wanted to create a smart pen in which the kid is given the pen to write on a paper. After the kid has written on the paper, analysis has to be given from a software, so which is a personalized software, and it is customized for each kid. Our idea was actually, as people like mentioned, we'll place accelerometer or gyroscope on the pen, and we'll detect the angle of the pen, the movement of the pen, and that will capture the writing. What letter is written will be captured with that. But that was quite challenging, and so we had to concentrate more on the software part. So we moved to ML model. What we did is that we are training the ML model with a lot of writings written by the kids, and the ML model has to detect what letter is written. Now we are not actually concentrating more on the hardware part. So I just wanted to ask if whether it is recommended to go for ML model when it is not like hardware. We wanted to make it fully hardware only, but that was quite challenging. So we moved on to machine learning. So I just wanted to ask you if machine learning will be recommended, or whether it will work out.
I'll take that first, Mary Giri. So, are you saying that you have a hardware which is not connected to the internet, and you want to make sure that all the machine learning processing happens on that hardware itself?
Initially, when we had the previous area, it was not connected to the internet, but when we moved on to machine learning, it was obviously connected by the internet.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays, like a lot of hardware is upcoming wherein you can actually run the machine learning models without the internet also. So I don't think that will be a problem, let's say 6 months down the line. I know like Snapdragon and a lot of other companies, they are creating these chips which are very tiny, which will probably on a smartphone also you will have a lot of chat GPT like models which will not require internet. So if you are building for the future, then be rest assured that you'll be able to run it on the hardware itself.
Okay, sir. I also wanted to ask that dysgraphia is a very small market. The target is very small. Most of us give us insight that you have to create something for the huger audience. In that case, a few people say that you have to reach it to a lot of kids. And on the other side, people say you just concentrate on the special kids only because their needs are very specific. When we talk on the business side, it goes that way. When we talk about solving this societal problem, it goes on this way. This is a huge thing, and for every event, we actually keep diverting, like how we have to present our project.
Yeah, I mean, don't do that. Like, see what you really love doing. Like, you know, what is your mission and what attracts you at the end of the day? What makes you like up at night? Don't even worry about what others are saying. Like, because people will have different definitions of being successful, right? So somebody might be happy with $1 million, and the other person might say like, you know, $100 million funding is also not enough. So the only thing I would still suggest is make sure that it's commercially viable. Like whatever money that you're spending, whether it's your like effort, product development, at least you get that out of the revenues at least, and then you don't have to like even like worry about the expenses. But once that is done, and if you think that this is something that is close to your heart, please by all means do it. Don't worry about other things.
Sure, sir. Thank you. That was so useful.
Thank you.
So I think we are coming to the last part. So Giri, just one small idea validation part. So it's the same team that asked you earlier about the 3D detection. They were discussing this for both for the authority as well as for the public. So they also planned of preventing any sort of a problem or malicious activity by the other people that are passing by also. Like instead of also the authority, like whoever is going on the way, if they're alerted with a sound, like they can also stop such kind of activity from happening. Like Do you think that's something that they can consider?
Is this related to surveillance security?
Surveillance, yes. Already since the same team that you answered initially. So
Okay.
not only the authority, but even common people can sort of help when they get alerts if they are nearby. Is that one thing they can think of?
Okay, basically, the target audience is very important to the public. If they're going to B2C kind of thing, the cost will be very huge, and we need to be very careful whether they are ready to pay for that particular solution. This is very important. I believe like the people who is very concerned about the security and safety of their environment, they will be like maybe some industry and some industry people, and then some assets like asset management companies. They will be interested in this. I don't think the general public will be interested in this kind of solution by making it as commercial basically. They are interested in making it commercial for public.
I think they are thinking on just preventing the malicious activity by correctly, sort of giving the sound or alert to those whoever is nearby, either authorities or whoever it is. So no matter where it happens. So there are two ways. One is the general public outdoor protection. Another is the household particular protection. So which would be a better path? That's the thing.
I think initially focusing for industry will be good actually. Like taking any authority is good, but they can, for trying out the system or the improving the system, they can go for public.
Okay, awesome, Giri. Thank you. So last question, Ipsita, please go ahead, and then we are going to stop, guys. Ipsita, if you're here.
Good evening, sir. Our project is to convert waste to energy. It is the large field, so we want to focus on the main problem on this project, that is segregation, which is the major problem in waste to energy industry in India. So for segregation, we want to use AI. So my question is how AI can be encrypted to detect various types of wastes, and how can we collect the high hydrocarbon wastes? How can we send the other wastes for recycling? What would be the data set? What are the programming platforms? How can we automate the system?
Okay, how you will be collecting the data basically? Hello, can you hear me?
So I think they are working on different types of waste analysis, and then there are already AI where they can take sensor sort of, images basically. If it's PET bottles, you have PET, those kind of things, to segregate the models for waste segregation basically.
Yeah, I think here you no need to have any data sets. You can directly instruct the models to decide based on the state of the things like wastage actually. That is enough. You don't need to have any data for this. Is this answer helpful for you?
Yeah, I think she's having some network issues. So guys, if you can switch on your video, we're coming to the last part, and we're just going to have a group photo to remember this awesome day. Extra 28 minutes, please forgive me with all your good big hearts. Forgive all of us, but we are just too enthusiastic, and we need people like you to work with our students to help them up, and because you know better, and they just have a lot of passion, but the path is also very important. And it's just amazing having both of you so patient and so grateful that you have answered every single one of the questions. So guys, please give them a big round of applause to our two lovely darling speakers of today. And special thanks that both of you wanted to support these students, take them to the next level. It's really insane the level of support they have. And when we were in college, I'm sure we all never had this, and we are giving back. So I'm very proud of you guys and every one of our students as well. Thank you so much, guys. Have an amazing Saturday night, and I'll connect you with the students. If at all you're free sometime, you can talk to them and try to support them. Thank you so much, Hitesh, and thank you, Giri.